And I've just selected these. They are different. This question that I have, what do you think are the major threats to the city of South Miami? There's nothing else to further explain that. That was the question. What do you think are the major threats to the city of South Miami? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'll go first. The biggest threat to South Miami, as I see it, is sea level rise and the impact to our septic tanks. Most of the city is on septic, and it's a problem. We've had issues already. Residents have had issues with their septic tank, and so the sea level rise and the effect on that property values. We have all the issues, flood insurance, but that one is a long-term issue that it's going to take years for us, but we need to start addressing that immediately, I believe. So I think that is the biggest challenge and the biggest threat to our city today.
So the first things that came to mind are the place that I served last, which is Tallahassee, an overreaching state government that ties our hands in terms of addressing and fashioning solutions that are appropriate for our community, right? So we've got to fight very hard to keep our delegation in Tallahassee accountable, make sure that they're, reflecting our values in their votes when they act in the legislature. I think it's also true of the county. That recent RTC proposal, we've got a code, as I mentioned. It's got the appropriate amount of density to support transit. We're not a community that should be brought into that process. I think it's great when land use decisions are made locally by our local councils. And then I do agree with Commissioner Gill. We have to deal with what I call our plumbing problem, which I didn't get to. That's the last P I didn't get to mention, so I went over my time. We need to do it now, right? Well, we have come out of a historically low borrowing environment. Unfortunately, some decisions that were made through my opponent's tenure really impaired our ability to get into the bond markets and take advantage of historically low interest rates. And we do have the opportunity now, hopefully the markets will self-correct at this period, to go in and structure borrowing so that we can actually modernize and connect to sewer and do it in a way that people can afford before it becomes unaffordable and before it affects our home values.
Talking to a lot of the people in our city, one of the biggest things that I've heard is being priced out. I think that affordability in our cities, especially the city of South Miami, where prices have gone crazy over the last few years, is a big problem. So that's one of the things that we definitely need to affect. We've talked about it already when it comes to affordable housing. Also, the real estate taxes continue to go up as the values go up. So we really need to work with the budget to make sure that we can continue to lower the mill rate as much as we can. And obviously that trickles down to making sure our revenues, our state funds, and our county funds continue to rise.
Okay, any other comments? I want to be sure we hear from everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Our problem with stormwater is incrementing as we go on. Every year there's going to be more flooding, and septic tanks is a big concern for everyone. However, the issue is also for many people with fixed incomes, people that are retiring here, you have to pay for water in and water out. Apart from the fact that you also have to pay anywhere from $50,000 to $25,000 to get hooked up to a sewer system. We do have to work in a manner that people can afford it, to make sure that the financing is there, low interest rate, and so that it's done in a gradual manner and giving people the options. I'm in favor of septic tanks. I would like to see people that are 65 and older not have to pay for water out. Pay for water in, fine, everybody does that, but it might break the bank if you have to pay for both. And certainly the cost of the hookup is a big concern. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that those of us that are on fixed incomes. I would like to also acknowledge our great city manager, Shari Kamali, who makes sure that our stormwater drainage is always cleaned up, because I always see these people working to clean up our drainage systems. And folks, global warming is true, it's real, and we just have to do the best. One of the things that I'm very proud of when I was your mayor is that I created the Green Task Force, and that is a group of dedicated residents, people that live in the community, They have some, maybe one or two have leads, are LEED certified, that would provide ideas for the commission to help build a more efficient and effective buildings in our city, and keep in mind the cost of energy. Thank you.
Okay, be short, all right.
I think one of the biggest threats that our community is facing right now, somebody touched on it earlier, is our diminishing police force. Our numbers in police officers are going lower and lower and lower, and it reaches a stress point where right now, I believe we have 50, but I think that we have 40 on rotation or 42 on rotation, and when you don't have enough police officers, that causes stress to each individual police officer. And I don't know about any of you, I know I don't want an overworked police officer responding at 3 a.m. to any of our homes. We need to pay attention to what's going on with the police department.
Just like has been said already, the septic tank system has to be worked on. It has to get to a point where people are able to afford to go ahead and get the actual sewer system. And the reason is because, like they said, once the flood comes in, then the houses, they start, the water comes in, it sends up, you know what else, out of the system. And then, let's say people, they are spraying different things in the water, and therefore, in the yards, therefore that goes into the actual rivers and the lakes and everything, which is causing the fish and the environment to die. So if we can get them on the septic tank system, then, I mean on the sewer system, then that wipes it all out, and it doesn't interfere in the rivers and lakes here. Also, just like they were saying, because of the, well, I don't even know what to call this, we've never, I don't think, have ever had to face people not knowing where they're gonna live, not knowing where they're gonna buy anything, how they're gonna eat, because of the economy and because of the high prices of the different projects and buildings. We can't even stay. In fact, I was just looking to find out about apartments in the area, and I'm just using Valencia as just an example. I looked for a one-bedroom apartment. It was $300, $320 for one bedroom. Who can afford to stay in a one-bedroom apartment? You're working every day, and everything's going up except for your income. So I feel that if we can't get a hold of affordable living, then we're going to have a problem here in South Miami.
Okay. All right.